What's up, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Today's video, we are on the test server here, so thank you, Plarium, for allowing us access to the test server. And in today's video, we will be answering the questions that I received about the Thor fusion, and mainly things about what his kit can do, what it can't do, and just some things of interest that I've found on Reddit and other media sources. So without further ado, let's try to answer as much as we can and discover what we can about this upcoming fusion. So let's jump right into it. One quick correction I do want to point out. In my original video, I did mention that his damage was increased by 3% crit damage. It's actually just straight champion damage, which is obviously better than just crit damage. So I just want to make a quick correction for myself. All right, so first question here, I got it here from Mems Boozor. Did you check if cursed set damage will proc towards his passive? If Warmaster does, I imagine curse set would too. So that's pretty easy to test here. So I'm going to fit him out in a curse set, and then we'll see how his passive reacts to that. All right, here we go. So we do have him fitted out in a curse set, just random gear stats, and we'll see how it works in our test dungeon here. So honestly, to me, the best place to test Thor's passive is actually Spider 20, mainly because the first opening wave of all the spiders, they give you 9 targets. So if there's anything funky that happens that triggers an extra hit, his passive will go off, and it's very easy to see. Right now I have a curse set on. Let's see if we can trigger any of it. So let's see if we can trigger his passive, basically. So we are applying Hex, so no passive was triggered there. Let's try a couple more times just to see exactly if we can get the passive to trigger. We are on 1x speed, but you can kind of tell that there's so much stuff going on. You just really don't know what's going on. But lots of hexes being applied, and so far, no passive getting triggered. I can't really see any hex damage numbers coming off. It's hard to see. Let's have a quick look. Let's try his A2 this time. We did try his A3 a couple times. Let's try his A2. I do see hex symbol popping off, but I don't see any. Hard to see otherwise, but I don't see his passive going off. So to me, it seems pretty unlikely that Hex set would contribute damage counters towards his passive. We'll try one more time here with his A3. And yeah, no trigger on the passive. To me, I think curse set, no way that it's going to affect his passive at all. All right, next question here from Supernova. What about Phantom Touch? So in our previous video, the showcase video for Thor that I did, we did test him with Giant Slayer and Warmaster, and it actually worked as a extra damage counter towards his passive. In this case, we can try Phantom Touch as well, and we'll see if Phantom Touch actually works in the same way. It's actually kind of interesting. So let's change over his blessing and change that to Phantom Touch. No big deal. 300 gems on the test server. No big deal. And we're going to have to change his masteries. Nope, masteries are fine. Let's change his gear set back to just a generic damage gear set here. So we're going to put him back in Merciless. And then, so he has no other ways of triggering his passive, right? So let's hop back into try Phantom Touch. Here. And boom, we're going in. 1x speed. All right. So if Phantom Touch works in the same way as Warmaster, it should trigger his passive. I do see Phantom Touch triggering off the Big Mama and no passive getting triggered. So I think it's clear that Phantom Touch doesn't work in the same way that Warmaster and Giant Slayer works. Try again. And I do see the Big Mama getting some extra damage from the Phantom Touch as well there. Try again. Again, no passive was getting triggered. Sorry, the snip is still in the way. Try again. Nope. So far, nothing again. So to me, it seems like Phantom Touch, no go for triggering his passive. We can test it with Warmaster just to make sure that you guys get a clear sense of what is going on. Let's go down to Warmaster and test that as well. Let's change his Phantom Touch off. We'll give him something that won't trigger. And we'll hop back into the dungeon again. And we'll try again. So this time we're testing Warmaster for those that did not see the Warmaster test on my original showcase. And boom. Did you see that? Did you see that? The passive triggered. So if there was nothing that caused an additional hit from his setup, there would be no passive triggering. But the only thing that can trigger the extra hit is Warmaster. This is a pretty clear sign that Warmaster does indeed trigger his passive. Boom. Passive triggered again. Like I said, guys, Warmaster does work and will trigger as an extra hit towards his passive. Very, very cool instance for Thor there. All right, so got a question here from Gignomai. I wonder if the 9-piece set bonus from the Slayer set 30% chance to repeat damage dealt by AoEs also count towards the counter of this passive. That is something that I mentioned potentially for Thor could be very, very good in my showcase video. However, the problem is with this account on the test server is actually I don't have any accessories in the Slayer, in the Slayer set for barbarians. I literally have nothing. And obviously, being a free to play, I don't have all the extra accessories for the Slayer set for most of the champions. I can't actually test the set properly. So while it does make sense that a 9-piece Slayer set could be pretty cool on Thor, and I don't know exactly how it would work, I can't exactly test it here, as you can clearly see. So if you go for a 9-piece set, you get a 30% chance, 30% chance to repeat the damage dealt by the AoE. To me, I think the 9-piece set would trigger stacks towards his passive. This means that the damage, repeat damage, would contribute towards his passive. I think it makes sense because it's damage triggered by himself. Yes, it's from a set, but it's his damage, right? So I think it definitely would apply, but I wish I could test it out, but I can't. But it's a great question. I'm sure somebody will be able to test it out and answer that for you guys in the near future once people start getting their hands on Thor. Got another question here from Critfire. What about Toxic set? Does it spam the AoE? So we can definitely test the Toxic set here as well. So let me kit him out in just random Toxic gear. Make sure I reset my masteries. I'm just going to reset it with no masteries, so there's nothing to trigger. No blessing that can trigger as well. Going back to the masteries here. Sorry, it's the set here. We show the Toxic set. So let's jump into the spider again, and then we can bounce around. So test this again. Again, there's 9 targets here. This is a great dungeon for testing. So, okay. So you see all these poisons getting laid down, right? So this spiderling actually took... Okay, you know what? Unfortunately, it seems like as soon as I attack, I'm going to trigger the passive and kill a bunch of stuff. So I think I need to re-gear with even less speed, perhaps. Let's re-gear with less speed. Re-gear with less. Because I don't want to go before the spiderlings start taking poison damage. Let's do that again. 9 targets. Perfect scenario here. Okay. This spiderling took poison damage. This spiderling took poison damage. You see all the spiderlings taking poison damage here? Yep, they're all ticking the 5,000 poison damage. Does not trigger the passive, guys. Does not trigger this passive. The damage ticks from Toxic do not trigger this passive at all. I think that's pretty definitive there. We can do one more hit. Just to hit the hammer this home. No pun intended. All right, you see all the poison ticks? No, doesn't count towards his passive there. So hopefully I answered your question. Let's move on. And just for fun, I did request a Teox to come into my test server account. I don't have him on my main account, but I think Teox and Thor is the absolute GOAT combo. In terms of, I guess, like non-void, non-mythical champions aside, these two would just be absurd amounts of damage because Thor's A1 actually slams super, super hard and it could be a quad hit. His double hit is already really good and then it could potentially be a quad hit. And then you pair that with Teox's A1, which sends basically a champion in to do their A1, but it's a boosted A1. It's just going to be insane. And of course, all the ally attacking and sending Thor in, he's just going to add counters to his passive, and the passive is just going to do some extra damage on the side as well. So I kind of set up this team as kind of like a more ridiculous team, but I kind of wanted to showcase what his level of potential could be. I don't have the best team here, but I just wanted to show him in some ridiculousness here, just for some fun. So let's see what happens here. I don't have the best provoke coverage in this at all. So I do have Shamail in provoke, and I do have Eostrate in provoke. Usually I would put Eostrate in either hex or protection, but just for this test, I am running her in a provoke set. So Thor goes in. Look at that. Look at the chunks coming off. No defense down. We need Mishinaki for the defense down, and then we will do. Gonna do that, and then let's boost up our damage. Big slam, Terminator boost. I don't know. Right now, I'm having an absolute ball just playing with him. I love that he runs fast. I love that he runs fast. He just kind of like charges in. Look at this. Barrels in and then passive triggering. Finishes off the Hydra. No hex damage was even applied as well. Mishinaki is our only hex champion on his team. So he's soaking up all of the juicy hex damage. And let's do the A2. The A2 is the big slam here. Boom. Big slam. And yeah, defense down coverage, not the best. It's just Mishinaki carrying that load on this team. Big slams here just popping off. Look how much damage is going off even before the Hydras even get one turn here. As soon as a Torment head pops off, it's gonna go wild. It's gonna go down. But really loving this. This Thor fusion looks to be like a grand slam, at least for everybody that doesn't have like insane Trunda teams already. Look at that. Look at those slams. Look at those slams there from Thor. And then the ally attack going in as well. Still no defense down, guys. Keep that in mind. There we go. The defense down coming in. A little bit too late. Just keep A1ing with the T-Ox. I wish I had a T-Ox. I wish I had a T-Ox. It would be so much fun to pair him with Thor here, especially with a more optimized team. I don't have like the most optimized team on the test server right now, but mainly just for fun, just to see what he's capable of. So far, it looks pretty insane. Damage per turn is just absolutely insane. Thor going in. Look, about 1 million per hit. So we're looking at about, you know, potentially 4 million if he gets lucky with the quad hit. Here we go. The Torment head is here. Let's see how Thor is going to pop off. Okay. Really want to kill this head of Mischief so I can get more turns here with the decap heads. Thor's going in. Pop, pop. About 1 million per slam. And now A2. Everything's going to die. Yep. Wow. Interestingly enough, I did see a decreased turn meter on some of these heads. Oh yeah, correct. That's the Mischief head dying. When the Mischief head dies, it brings the turn meter back. So that makes sense. Sorry, I thought maybe Thor was doing something weird there, but no, that was just Mischief head dying. So all good. Some more damage in here. Thor's popping in. 1.2 per hit. And then the passive hitting for 1.4 million. Just absurd amounts of damage here. And then more damage going in. Turn meter boosting. Ally attacking. Here we go, man. We're going to call this like the machine gun build, right? He's just popping off like crazy. What do we got here? What do we got? With the head of Torment here, it's just going to be absolutely absurd. He also has a attack in all battles aura, so he's boosting his attack quite a bit. 1.1 damage. T-Ox with the fast relentless set here, triggering the extra attacks. Thor 1.3 and then passive 1.6, 2 million across, just insane amounts of damage. Yeah, I mean, this is fun. This is fun. We're on hard difficulty, so I'm not gonna say like, oh, this is like the most OP, you know, whatever, but this is some good fun. All right, let's see. So we're at about 100 million. It's not even boss turn 10. Pretty insane here. Thor gets another turn. A2, big smack. 2 million on the decap heads each. Pretty insane. Let's see some more. I don't know. I just want to see some more here. Decreased defense finally applied. Torment still didn't even get a turn yet. 1.5 per A1. Go turn meter boost. Go, let's go. Turn meter boost. Go, turn meter boost. Turn meter boost. And A1. Oh, quad hit, about 700k each hit. Here we go. Extra turn from Teox. Boom, boom, 1.3 each. Boom. Ooh, nasty. Look at this. Hex damage. Ally attack. Ooh, look at that damage. Let's go with the hammer here. 1.3. Premier boost. Fortunately, a force head here, so we're not going to get the max damage from Thor. Not bad. And all right, so we didn't have proper coverage there. As you can clearly see, we don't even have a block buff champion, but 13 turns into the boss encounter, 156 million damage. So usually when I look at Hydra runs, I usually give boss turn count about 250, give or take. Sometimes it goes up to 300. So if we extrapolate 156 total damage against the amount of turns that are left, if the boss goes 250 turns, we're looking at about 3 billion damage for Hydra. For hard, it would be a best for me, non-Trunda. And this team's not fully optimized. It's kind of like just to see what kind of craziness we can do with the Shamail turn meter boosting. Obviously, you know, it would be nice to have better coverage for like provoke and all that stuff, or, you know, block buffs maybe. That's kind of an important debuff. But I just wanted to show the potential of Thor and what his capabilities are. I know in my initial showcase, he didn't have, you know, the craziest teams, but here he's absolutely insane. Look, 84 million. Mishinaki with all of the curse damage only doing 54 million damage. Everybody else pales in comparison. Yeah, just an absolute insane powerhouse. I can't wait to play with this guy, and I wish I had Teox just able to pump out insane amounts of damage. Keep in mind that my Thor does have a 5-star blessing on him versus Mishinaki's 2-star, so it's not like the ideal comparison. Their gear is relatively similar, but I would say that Thor has better gear on him. But keep in mind that all of the hex damage is going towards Mishinaki's total damage, and Thor is significantly outpacing him in terms of overall damage. So with that being said, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed this kind of quick question and answer video. I know there's plenty of questions surrounding Thor and how he works. Some of it around his overall, how his A2 hits, how his damage is calculated and all that. So far, I haven't seen anything too weird in terms of how his damage is calculated. Whether anything is like totally busted, I haven't seen. But it'll be interesting to see what other people notice as well. It's a little bit interesting to see that Phantom Touch doesn't work. So blessings don't work, but masteries work. It's kind of interesting. Gear set bonuses don't work. I don't know, guys. But anyways, guys, let me know how you guys feel about this video. Hopefully it was enjoyable and informative for everybody. If you guys have any further questions, let me know in the comments below. If I get another opportunity, I will try to test it and answer in the comments as well. But anyways, good luck on the fusion. He's a doozy. Enjoy your time. Enjoy him if you guys get him. And yeah, have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.